What's up everybody, I'm Duggity Deep. Today I'm bringing you a very special video in collaboration with the amazing Wolfe Glick, one of the best VGC players in the world, and this is our top 10 game mechanics and battle techs in Pokemon. This video is of course a two-parter. You'll be able to see numbers 10 through 6 on my channel and numbers 5 through 1 over on Wolfe's channel, so I will link that down below in the description. Coming in at number 10, we're going to talk about ground types with the ability Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod is an ability introduced in Generation 3 which redirects electric type attacks to the Pokemon with the ability and increases the special attack of the Pokemon by 1 stage when it is hit by an electric attack. Ground types with Lightning Rod will still redirect electric attacks, but they will not get the special attack boost as their immunity to electric type moves actually prevents the attack from hitting at all. This provides a very niche but interesting use for the item Ring Target, as it makes ground types vulnerable to electric moves and thus allows ground types with Lightning Rod to receive a special attack boost.
Coming in at number 9, we have one of the unique abilities introduced in Generation 5, Justified. Originally the defining ability of the legendary Musketeers, Justified might not seem extraordinary at first glance. It kinda looks just like another standard type interacting ability. However, on closer inspection, there is something that makes Justified very, very unique. If you played VGC in 2011, the phrase Terracotta probably means something to you. Terracotta was a strategy that involved Whimsicott and Terrakion, where Whimsicott, with its high base speed, could outspeed Terrakion and use Beat Up on turn 1, or whatever turn you wanted really, effectively boosting Terrakion to +4 in a double battle with almost no cost. It was a really terrifying strategy that players were forced to prepare for if they didn't want to get blown back, and it's only made possible because of the unique mechanics of Justified. Essentially, it all comes down to the way Justified interacts with multi-hit moves specifically. When you think of abilities that interact with types, for example, Flash Fire, Water Absorb, Lightning Rod, Motor Drive, Sap Sipper, and there's others that probably come to mind, all of these abilities, they work the same way. They cancel the attack coming in, like a Thunderbolt into a Lightning Rod, and provide some kind of boost or other kind of recovery in the case of Water Absorb or Dry Skin or something. The reason Justified doesn't work like these other abilities is because of the fact that it doesn't cancel the incoming move. While this might seem like a negative aspect to Justified at first glance, it actually allows for some really interesting combinations in practice. If all type interacting abilities worked like Justified, you could have a Skill Link Cincino use Bullet Seed on a Sap Sipper Bouffalon and boost it to +5, or have your Greninja use Water Shuriken on your Vaporeon to heal up to all of its health back. Obviously you can't actually do these combinations in practice, which is what sets Justified apart and earns it the number 9 slot on our list.
Next up at number 8, we're going to talk about one of the most prominent and powerful abilities introduced in Generation 6. Of course, I'm talking about Parental Bond. Parental Bond will cause any move to strike twice, with the second strike landing at half the attack power. This does result in some really interesting mechanics. Abilities such as Rough Skin or Iron Barbs will inflict damage on the Parental Bond user twice. But, similarly to our Justified versus Sap Sipper mechanic that came in at number 9, if the initial attack is prevented by a move such as Spiky Shield or King Shield, the Parental Bond user will only be damaged or have its attack lowered once. Another strange mechanic resulting from the way Parental Bonds work is fixed damage moves such as Seismic Toss. As the second hit has half power and not half damage, Seismic Toss will still inflict full damage for the second attack. This is due to the fact that Seismic Toss has no power to halve, and instead deals damage equal to the user's level. Finally, Parental Bond works in a very strange way with spread moves. When using a spread move in a double battle against multiple Pokemon, it will only land once. However, in a single battle, it will keep its second hit. Even more interesting is the fact that in a double battle with only one Pokemon remaining on each side, the second hit of that spread move will return.
Number 7. Sturdy Shedinja. Shedinja is a Pokemon that, by definition, is really unique. Normally, the main reason people are drawn to Shedinja is its Wonder Guard ability, locking out entire teams if they're unable to hit it. However, there is another rather unique trait that Shedinja has. Shedinja only has 1 HP and will always only have 1 HP unless you transform into it or knock it out. While this was probably intended as a way to check the power of Wonder Guard, it allows for an extremely unique situation. Wonder Guard is an ability that cannot be skill swapped or roleplayed. It's basically impossible to get off of Shedinja, especially if you're using Pentagon rules. However, Wonder Guard can be overwritten, meaning it's possible to get a different ability onto Shedinja even though you can't get Shedinja's ability onto another Pokemon. Now, why would you want that? Wonder Guard's such a good ability, and it blocks Shedinja from all kinds of damage, and there's no real reason to overwrite it, right? Wrong. Think about the ability Sturdy. Sturdy acts as a built-in Focus Sash, saying that if a Pokemon is at full HP and would be KO'd by an attack, it will instead hold on with 1 HP. Man, if only there was a Pokemon with only 1 HP, then if you got Sturdy onto it could never be KO'd by a damaging... Oh. Bingo. If you can get Sturdy onto Shedinja using a convoluted skill swap and entrainment chain, Shedinja cannot be knocked out by a damaging move ever, and you still have your item free. A safety goggles or Lump Shedinja with an ever-replenishing focus sash is a really scary thought, as the only way to knock it out is with passive damage such as Toxic Burn, Rocky Helmet, or weather like Sandstorm or Hail. Overall, though Sturdy Shedinja takes quite a bit of setup, it becomes a hilarious wall that allows for some really interesting gameplay.
At number 6, we have more of a battle tech than a mechanic, but it's still awesome. Pickup is an ability which in battle allows you to pick up an item used by a different Pokémon. By utilizing 2 Pokémon with Pickup and Fling, you can continuously fling items, swapping them over each time. While this is a fun fact, it's not exactly useful until you examine the properties of flung items, specifically the Razor Fang and King's Rock, which both have a 100% chance of making the target flinch. In a double battle, when neither of your opponent's Pokémon have a priority move or a base speed higher than that of a Lanoon, you can therefore continuously flinch the opponent's Pokémon using an Ambipom and Lanoon with Fling. 16 uses of the move each is more than enough to stall out the entirety of an official VGC match timer, and since you will have inflicted more damage than your opponent, you will win the game. This loop is impossible to escape unless you have a Pokémon with priority, a Pokémon with inner focus, or a Pokémon which outspeeds Lanoon. So while it might not be the best VGC technique ever, it is a fun little way to grab a couple of wins on Battle Spot. Another Pokemon that gets this combination of both Pickup and Fling is Dedenne, and with 101 base speed actually has a base speed of 1 higher than Lanoon. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed numbers 10 through 6. If you want to see numbers 5 through 1, you're going to have to head across to Wolfe's channel. That is linked down below and on screen now. So go check it out. It's right here. Click it, and on your way out, you can click this subscribe button right here.